You didn't become tense by accident. You didn't slowly turn into someone who can't relax. Your nervous system learned this, and what it learned once, it keeps repeating until something interrupts the pattern. You wake up already holding tension, not a thought, not a worry you can name, just a background tightness. Your shoulders feel slightly raised, your jaw never fully drops, your breath stays higher than it needs to be. Even when nothing is happening, your body behaves as if something might. This isn't fear, and it isn't panic. It's readiness, not anxiety about something, but preparation for something. At some point in your life, this state made sense. Staying alert mattered. Reading the room mattered. Noticing subtle shifts in tone, mood, or energy mattered. Your system learned to stay one step ahead, to brace early, to scan constantly, not because it wanted to, but because it worked. Tension helped you stay oriented, it helped you respond quickly, it helped you avoid surprises, so your nervous system kept it. Back then, relaxation wasn't neutral, it wasn't safe, it wasn't rewarded. Letting go meant missing something. Being too soft meant being unprepared. So the body chose what was reliable. Control, alertness, tension, not as a personality trait, as a survival skill. Over time, the environment changed, but the body didn't get the message. Your nervous system doesn't track time the way you do. It doesn't recognize then and now. It works from memory, from patterns that once prevented harm. So even when life becomes quieter, the system stays loud. Even when nothing is required of you, it stays ready. Not because it's malfunctioning, but because it's consistent. You're not stuck in tension. You're living with a response that never got turned off. A system that learned, stay alert, stay prepared, don't fully soften, and it keeps repeating that lesson even when it's no longer necessary. That's not failure. That's loyalty to what once worked. This is where people often turn against themselves. They call it overthinking. They call it weakness. They call it something to eliminate. But tension isn't an enemy. It's a memory, a record of how your system learned to stay intact. There's nothing here that needs fixing, nothing that needs to be forced away, because the body doesn't release through pressure. It releases through recognition, through being understood instead of corrected. When the system senses that it's no longer being judged, something subtle begins to shift. Not immediately, not dramatically, just enough. The shoulders drop a fraction. The breath deepens slightly. The constant scanning softens for a moment. Not because you decided to relax, but because the body no longer has to justify its tension. This isn't happiness, and it isn't relief. It's quieter than that. It's a small internal permission to pause without consequence. A moment where nothing is required. And in that moment, the nervous system does something simple. It exhales. Not fully. Not forever. Just enough to remember that it doesn't always have to be on guard.